Earthquakes in the contiguous United States. We have the Virgin Islands and the bottom 5 o'clock area you'll see here and how deep they are. This does not show Alaska, but you have to notice that the color code shows the depth. Red to yellow is more shallow, and blue to dark blue is more depth. Now, make sure you notice what's happening on the East Coast. You'll see most of them are shallow, but you have a lot of deeper quakes in the area across the border in Quebec. Now, that's the area of the New Madrid seismic zone. It's actually a fault, and it's an area that's sloughing off from the mainland United States. It's actually a rift valley, and you'll see that the mostly shallow Quebec is blue. But notice the west coast, what's happening. You have earthquakes in Vancouver, then the precession goes down to west coast, Northern California, and then goes down to Baja California, and you'll notice that. Earthquakes starting around Vancouver, then the pressure somehow relates to the United States west coast and all the way down to Baja. And you'll notice that when you'll see the bigger circles with the bigger earthquakes. There, you'll see that, and others too. Okay, you'll see again, Vancouver down to Northern California and then down to Baja. It's somehow, I guess, related from what we see here in this time-lapse map. Okay, this is from Pacific Northwest, NOAA and USGS. Every state and territory of the United States of America experiences earthquakes in the contiguous states. Most of these earthquakes do not pose a tsunami risk as they do not lift or drop the seafloor. They are either too small, too far from the body of water, or move the underlying rock sideways. For these reasons, two widely felt earthquakes in March of 2020 also failed to generate tsunamis. Of course, the 5.7 Salt Lake City that came out of nowhere in Utah, and the 6.5 Central Idaho earthquake. And to put these, and those both shook Yellowstone as well, remember? To put these two earthquakes in context, this animation shows earthquakes in the contiguous United States for the previous 40 years. Most earthquakes in the world, including those in the United States, are interplate earthquakes that occur at plate tectonic boundaries. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. The boundaries, the tectonic boundaries, are large sections of the Earth's crust either grind past each other, pull apart, or slam together. With the exception of the Pacific coast of Southern California, the contiguous United States sits atop the North American plate. This plate meets the Pacific plate at the San Andreas Fault, such that coastal California, south of Mendocino, rides atop the Pacific plate, which moves northward relative to the rest of North America. North of Mendocino, Northern California, Oregon, and Washington State are colliding with the Juan de Fuca plate, JDF, to produce a subduction zone capable of generating tsunamis with megathrust earthquakes. And the last time this region produced a devastating tsunami was over 320 years ago, in the early 1700s, the year 1700 exactly. Offshore of the Pacific Northwest, many earthquakes also occur along the boundaries between the Juan de Fuca plate and the Pacific plate. In the southeastern corner of the animation, one more subduction zone also generates earthquakes. That's the North American plate meeting the Caribbean plate at the Puerto Rico Trench. Earthquakes can also occur away from these plate boundaries throughout the contiguous United States. These are called interplate earthquakes, and they occur along the faults within the North American continent. In recent years, wastewater injection wells by product of hydraulic fracturing or fracking for hydrocarbon extraction have also produced earthquakes in Oklahoma, North Texas, and eastern Wyoming. Now, the National Tsunami Warning Center, NTWC, has a primary responsibility for issuing alerts for any tsunamis generated near the coastlines of the contiguous United States. NTWC will also alert these areas for dangerous tsunamis generated farther away, such as from Japan in 2011. Similarly, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, PTWC, will alert the areas they serve, Hawaii, U.S. territories, and international partners for any tsunami alert, including any tsunamis generated off the coast of the continental United States. And you can see that in the tsunami.gov. This was earthquake data from USGS, tsunami data from NOAA, plate boundaries from University of Texas, Marine Tectonics, and this is from Pacific TWC. And notice, I just want to remind you that where we see the Great Lakes area, that has magma. It's a horseshoe-shaped magma under there. And that magma has been there for about 900 million years. That magma on to the west dips down, goes into the area of central United States, going into Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, and then swerving west towards Nevada. So the geologists don't know where that magma is coming from, but there's a horseshoe-shaped huge magma plume right there. Not many people talk about that, and it's very old. And that's the Keweenaw Fault of the Great Lakes. And the eastern part of it goes under Ontario, Lake Erie. And notice, of course, the precession of the earthquakes on the west coast. There you go. That one in Vancouver, another one in Vancouver. And you'll see that sometimes these earthquakes, there you go. Okay, the west coast again, after the Vancouver quakes, and then Baja again. You'll see that happens quite a lot. It may be a month or so later. Some of them are faster. And there you go again. And notice the East Coast as well. And Quebec with deeper earthquakes. Okay, there you go. Vancouver, West Coast, and then Baja. This is exactly what happened at the Ridgecrest quake. There you go. Baja. We had a 6.4 magnitude earthquake in Vancouver the day before, not even 24 hours before the July 4th 6.4 foreshock of Ridgecrest, and the day later it was 7.3. I guess that was divine providence, because people were alerted that there would be a bigger earthquake, and there was. And it was in the evening, early evening, around 8 o'clock that happened, and people were, I guess, outside, most of them. They were alert, and they weren't, they were alert of the bigger earthquake may be happening, and it did. So we didn't have casualties that we would have had otherwise. Look at this in the central United States, what's happening. Look at that swarm there. It's lighting up. Amazing. Okay, we're coming up to the Ridgecrest earthquake. You'll see first Vancouver. That's it'll be soon enough. Not yet, but soon enough. We're up to February 2017. And keep your eye on Vancouver and then Ridgecrest. In a little while. June 2019. You see it, Vancouver and Ridgecrest immediately together. Did you see that? Okay, that one there was the Idaho earthquake. That was Salt Lake City in Idaho you saw there. So please be very careful. You can see the earthquake activity that we have here is quite active, I would say. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support.